everyone, I'm Mila and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, I am Mila and welcome. Actually, I do a lot of videos, different type of videos like learning languages, fitness and health blog, travel blog, or any other kind of personal blog. I have also a blog on my spirituality, etc. So if you are definitely interested, so you can check out my video. Today actually I'm going to talk about my tips on how I easily learn language. So I want to share with you how I learn easily the other languages. Actually guys, I speak Italian and of course my language Filipino, French and Spanish and also English. But to tell you the truth, until now I'm still studying English. And I will tell you also how I studied English. I'm feeling high. Because I lost my English when I started to study in university here in Italy. It was necessary because to learn a language, you have to forget your own language. I completed my university here in Italy, and on those days, those time, it was not so easy for me because I found myself in the midst of people with different languages, different cultures, and language that is completely different to mine. But it was very interesting to find yourself in the midst of different people with different languages and different cultures. It was a great challenge for me to fulfill my dream to be with the other people. I love to study the cultures of the other language. I love to be in the other places, and that's why it is my passion to learn new language. And now I'm learning German, Russian, and Mandarin. So it was a great challenge for me to learn a new language. So this is the first reason. You have to know your motivation why you learn a new language. For me, I don't have motivation, but my great motivation is that it is my passion to learn a new language. So if you want to learn a new language, you have to know your motivation, because if you don't have motivation, you are not constant. You will not go on to learn that language if you are not motivated. So know your motivation. What is the reason why you learn that language? Because that is the things that push you to continue to learn that language. Then you have to start now. Don't wait for tomorrow. So start now. Don't make many excuses that you are busy. You can dedicate even 5 minutes a day to learn a language. So if you want to learn a new language, you have to decide and start it now. Actually, I studied language in the morning because my mind is fresh. I usually on the TV and listening on YouTube during breakfast when I take my breakfast. So I also listening some conversation. For example, if I want to learn French, so I put some conversation in French while I'm doing something or I'm cleaning in the house, like that. I will always listening some conversation in that language. And then every day I started to learn 5 vocabulary, only 5 vocabulary. I usually watch on YouTube and write it down what I've learned, and the next day I will pass it on, repeat within my own self. Sometimes I speak with my own self when I brushing my teeth, when I washing my face, when I'm waking up. I started to recall those vocabulary that I've learned, and I practiced it every day. The first thing is that you have to know your motivation. You have to give a motivation to yourself why you learn that language, so that you can persevere to learn that language. That's the first thing, that you have a motivation. And then the second one is that you have to start now. If you want to do something, you have to start now so that you can achieve the goal that you want. This is my personal tip so that I will continue to learn language. My motivation, as what I said, is my passion to learn a language. It's my passion to discover new cultures, new things, new places. So that's why I love to study and I love to learn language. Then you have to start now, because of my experience before. I love to learn this, I love to learn that, but then today I'm tired, I'm going to work like that, so I did not start. I only starting now. The truth is, I started only during the lockdown. No, I already learned Italian long time ago, and also Spanish, and during lockdown I enhanced very well my French language. Then the practical one, my tips on how I learn is that you have to talk what you read and write. When you are listening or reading something, you have to talk it loud, you have to speak it loud. And I will repeat, read it loudly. What you have listened, what you have learned, and what you have read, you have to read it or speak it loudly. Example, what I did. I learned 5 words in French in kitchen. Kitchen words that relates to kitchen. The next day, when I get inside to the kitchen, when I saw the table, so I will say la table. When I saw the chair, so I said la chaise. The kitchen, la cuisine. And I will speak with my own self. I will speak it loud. And surely you will not forget it anymore. And you have also to write those things that you've learned, the language that you've learned, the vocabulary that you've learned on that day. You have to write it down. Don't neglect this process of writing. It is very important also when you learn a language. You have to write it down. And then you have to think of it. You have to listen, then read it loud, repeat what you have listened, and write it down and think of it. I'm sure you will remember. Some people say that you will not be fluent in a foreign language until you catch yourself thinking in it. That's what makes sense. Because you will not reach the high level of fluency if you continue to think your native language and continue to translate it mentally. Do you remember what I've said? I forget my English because I want to learn Italian. If you want to learn Italian, you have to forget English because it is completely different. You have to immerse in the language. And also you have to understand the cultures. You have to understand the real usage of the phrases so that you will become fluent in that language. See my English. I'm not fluent in English. Really, I'm not fluent in English. But I still working on it. I still studying on it to become fluent. I followed English. I followed that lesson. There's a lesson about imitation technique. So every day I listen to her, my teacher, and continue to repeat so that because I know that my English, my pronunciation in English is very bad. I know that. Because it's a long time ago that I never speak English. Only now with you in this channel. So you have to forgive me if I have many wrong grammar, wrong pronunciation. But you know, this is another way also, another tip that you will learn a language. Be in yourself and accept your limit. I know my limit, my pronunciation in English, because in Italian, mostly the vocal sound, your mouth is always open. O, A, E. While in English, is your mouth is always closed when you speak. I am used to already to speak Italian. That's why it's very hard for me to speak English. But I try my best to speak English. And I still continue. I'm continuing. No, I'm still studying English until now, because almost after I graduated high school, after 2 years like that, I was already here in Italy and start studying Italian, and also I complete my university here, as what I said. So we will repeat. First, you have to know your motivation, and you have to start it now. You have to know your motivation, why you want to learn that language. You have a motivation, because if you don't have, you will never learn that language. Then the second is you have to start it now. Start it now. Then the practical techniques that I've said, you have to learn by depend upon you. You can just, or you want to watch on YouTube. There are many channel that are teaching languages. So the technique is that you have to learn, listen. You have to write what you have learned, and read or speak it loud. You can talk to your own self. And the next day, you have to repeat it again so that you will not forget it. So that's the practical methods. You have to listen, read, write, and speak it loud what you have learned. Even if you don't learn, you just imitate and follow and speak it loud. Then you have to think of that language, that new language that you want to learn. Study the culture, study the correct usage. How you will study it? By watching movies or reading magazine, or going to that place, traveling to that place. I know it's not easy, especially now of the coronavirus. It's not easy now to travel. Anyway, so you have to think as what I've said, because you cannot achieve the high level of fluency if you continue to translate on your mind of your native language. Forget a moment your native language and concentrate to that language. And use also the imitation technique. You will watch a conversation on YouTube or on a movie, then follow it, imitate what they are saying, and then learn through songs. Learn some songs and sing it. And the last is make it as a game. It will not be a burden for you, but it's just like a game for you to learn a new language. Okay? So I hope this is very useful for you. Um, if you want to ask me something about the practical technique that I use, the very personal technique that I use, you can ask me, or you can ask me what language do you want to learn or what you are learning now. And also, the last thing that I want to say is that you can find also a partner to talk with, to chat with, a partner to talk with that language. Or you can find a native speaker of that language. Make friends, just only to help you to learn that language. Okay? Soon also I will release my videos on studying Spanish. On my videos on learning languages, I use the traditional method of teaching first the basic vocabulary. But if you want me to change that, you can leave your comment how you want to learn a new language. If you want to learn first by learning phrases or verb conjugation. No, it's up to you what you want to learn. How do you want to learn? If you want to learn faster, you can also ask me, because as what I said, I use the traditional method of teaching of learning language on my YouTube. Okay, so this is for me. Bye. So bye, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not yet doing it. Okay, bye and see you